Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lawrence and I'm the host of the Triathlete podcast, Usapan Triathlon, Swim, Bike and Run. My next guest right now is one of the best. I believe he's the most famous triathlete sa social media sa ating community. He has a very good YouTube channel. Uh, I think he has more than 15,000 or 20,000 followers. Very informative na guy. Has a very good IQ when it comes to endurance sports. A data-driven person and also a self-coach person. Um, Isa sa mga pinag-usapan namin is that kung paano siya nag-train while being employed sa isang call center. And on that year, nag-third overall siya sa Filipino Elite, and I believe that's a very, very hard thing to do. Kasi during that time, ang lahat na mga kalaban niya, as what he said, is from top 1 to top 10 are all full-time triathlete. And siya, na nakasungkit ng third place, is the only person na nagtatrabaho full-time. And it's a very inspiring story, na if you have the desire to do it, you will do it. I also like his attitude when it comes to competition. Yeah, I know na marami kayong matututunan. I know that it would be a very interesting topic, and I hope you watch from the beginning to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Christian Lim.
Welcome back to my channel. This is Lawrence. I'm the host of Triathlete podcast, Usapan Triathlon. I'm so excited to present you. First, it's gonna be a co-host episode. Kasama ko po dito si Ismael. He's also a Filipino triathlete na based dito sa Canada. Hi, Ismael.
Hey, kaya naman, parang April Fools ngayon.
No, no, no.
Ano ba?
Uh,
Parang
and
hindi
of
naman ako kasali sa mga magandang at saka mga mabilis na mga triathletes. Triathletes, bago lang ako.
No, pero I'm gonna say that later on isa ka sa magiging resource person ko, especially na paano mag-train dito or mag-race dito sa Canada. Pero unahin muna natin yung mga malalakas at malulupit sa Pilipinas.
Of course.
Hanggang sa papunta tayo sa
Kaya
mga normal, ordinary people
normal.
na kagaya natin. Okay. And also, gusto ko ipakilala sa inyo ang resource person natin, ang guest. I would say that very excited ako kasi alam ko, based on how I observe or follow him sa social media, sa YouTube, he's an athlete na has a very high IQ when it comes to sports. While I was talking to him a while ago, sinabi niya na he's being self-coach since 2016. And well, so 2016, medyo matagal na, no? And from that, I believe na nag-grow siya, marami siya natutunan, and yun yung mga gusto naming malaman sa kanya. He's also a top Filipino triathlete. He's one of the veterans Filipino triathlete sa bansa natin. In fact, he's one of the member of the previous elite group ng Alaska team. And after that, napunta rin siya sa Omega. And now, as a self-coach, marami din siya mga kino-coach. I think he's also handling a community or a group of athletes sa Cebu, which is a very good thing na we can talk about that as well. He is one of the guy who's famous in social media as a triathlete. And also he's a sponsored athlete. I believe he's a sponsored athlete by Trek and also on Cloud. We will talk about that as well. I'm so excited sa mga feedbacks niya at mga input niya about the product. So, mga kaibigan, mga triathlete, I would like to present you Kristiane Lim.
Hello, 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 hello. Good to be here, and I'm definitely honored na I got invited to this podcast. I've seen a few of my peers that are here, especially Banjo and Paul, who are like, brothers to me, and to be in the same field, or to be in the same podcast. It's been an honor. So thank you.
It's really also an honor for us, 'di ba? Ish.
Oh, of course, like I remembered like being like one race doon sa Pilipinas, parang series like doon sa Subic Bay. One thing that I've never like forgotten what he said, like basically mga techniques na yung binigay sa akin. Grabe ka systematic at saka detailed yung mga bike yung mga even the gradients or the elevation gains from the bike path from start to finish. So, naalala ko yun. At saka power meter.
Kumbaga sa grupo niyo dati ng Omega Team, siya ba yung parang Lionel Sanders na as an athlete, marami ring alam?
Of course, like in a certain way that if it's a don't take this as a negative, okay, but he's a very like in your face guy. Like
Yes,
it
that's
tells
true.
you like what he usually like tells you what to do, and then what he feels. Like he's no BS type of guy.
That's
That's very
good.
true.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. And yeah, that's the one thing na siguro nag-benefits talaga yung mga kasama mo sa'yo kasi kung ano yung totoo, yun yung sasabihin mo. And
Yeah. I would say ako yung tipo you will like or you don't like. There's no such thing in the middle. Because as Ish said, I will be in your face, especially if I coach you and you're not doing it to my standards, then it's going to be really a problem.
yeah,
So parang I would be like what you'd call an acquired taste.
right. So ngayon, may mga series of question kami and para mas makilala ka namin. So unang mga tanong ko lagi na tinatanong sa mga guests ko is that how you started triathlon. And after that, can you please give us the history or your journey from Alaska to Omega, and what team are you representing right now?
Actually, I'm very proud of like my beginnings kasi I was a swimmer in college, but nothing really to the levels of like Paul and Banjo. They're like the palarong pambansa level type.
Talaga?
Yeah. When I was with I don't know if you know Dio Timbol. We were in the same team for Davao, and we were on the
Si
GC.
Deo, parang siya yung pinakamalakas sa North America.
Nag-uusap kami, and then sa GC we were joking that we were like on the pang-umaga triathletes or pang-umaga varsity. I don't know. Because back then when we were in college, if you compete sa mga collegiate swimming, yung pang-umaga kasi is for the heats. Yeah, and if you get to the finals, magre-race ka ulit sa hapon. But we don't. Yeah, we don't get to that part, so pang-umaga lang kami.
Pero sila Banjo, sila Paul, talagang
dumadating sila till the nationals. So that's the discrepancy in terms of talent. So that's where I came to be like the techie guy. So I want to be like I needed to have an edge. So I started when I was after my graduation, I started running, and then nakita ako ng old swim coach ko who's coaching also triathlon. So inimbita ako to be a triathlete, and then from there on, since from 2011 to 2014, I was actually self-coached with like a few advice tips from
11 and 14 self-coach ka na pala nung kagad.
Oh yeah. So because I was working in a call center. So for me mahirap yung setup ko. So I tried to build around a routine in my yun yung for me is my biggest yung pinaka biggest achievement ko, because I won in 2014. I won third sa Filipino Elite. Back then I was still employed sa call center.
Magandang usapan ito mamaya kasi curious kami paano mo hinandle yung di ba?
It was wild. It was wild because at the time I was working, and then naiisip ko yung kalaban ko. They were still Banjo and the guys are in Laguna, and then the same with the yung mga tiga Unilab, Jonard, and all of the guys are training. They were sumisweldo sila. They were training full time, while I'm nagiging call boy at night. So it was a challenge but pero at the time din hindi ko naman iniisip na parang I was at a disadvantage.
Oo.
My idea at the time was like just be there and see what you got, or like see what you can do. Kasi for me din, I had nothing to lose, because if I beat them, then it's on them, kasi ako nagtatrabaho ako,
Yeah.
kayo full time.
Kumbaga, that's
And
na-excite ka dahil sa later on, di ba? Kumbaga, sige, I'll just give my best, whatever
Oo.
outcome. I'm happy kasi unang-una, nakapag-race ako.
Yes.
not sure if like your ang pagka-techie mo is somewhat related to sa call center, or is that how you usually are before? Like
I usually am very I study on what I do. I'm a student of the sport. In the same way, when I was a swimmer before, I really take time to study the best guys. Like on my time, it was Michael Phelps and Ian Thorpe. So yeah, I tend to really study. Kasi again, in terms of like being of talent, I believe I'm at peace with it, but I don't think I'm in the levels of like Paul Humamil and Banjo Norte, who started really young and are very talented. For me, it was just like really grit and perseverance.
Yes. So anong year ka nag-start ng triathlon? 2011.
2011.
2011.
I
Okay,
was
and
24.
24, late na rin yun.
Yes, very late.
Very late na rin yun. Kasi sila Paul Humamil, saka sila Banjo, medyo bata pa sila na gano'n.
Actually, we started on the same year. Yung first race ni Banjo and first race ko was here in Cebu, in Naga. Banjo, I think, won 3rd overall, and I was 5th or 4th overall.
Wow. And so ngayon, paano ka napasok sa Alaska, and paano ka napunta sa Team Omega? And
Yun na nga yun. When I was working sa call center, kinuha ako. They discovered me through winning yung Ironman Cebu, which was at the time the biggest race in Asia, or like in the Philippines. Yung parang nag-iisang parang nagiging national championships yun for the middle distance eh. So I won 3rd. I believe si August yung nanalo at the time, and then second si
GPD or not sure.
si JPD. Yeah, JPD. Yeah, and then I was 3rd. Yeah. And then after that, nung by November of that year, I was invited. Nagpumunta sila ng Cebu to, actually before sila pumunta ng Cebu, nag-email sila sa akin, and they asked me also if I have like peers, or do you know anyone na baka pwede ring maging elite. That's where I actually referred Jory Ikong. I referred
nice.
who's this, the other guy, Emmanuel Comendador, and si Paul Humamil, because Paul Humamil at the time was like a nobody at the time. Paul wasn't winning anything kasi at the time wala pa yata siyang bike, humihiram-hiram lang. And then I saw him in a few races here sa Cebu, and I saw the talent, I saw the drive. So I told them that this might be the guy that you wanna get. And then before sila nagpunta ng Cebu, nagbakasyon kasi sila ng Bohol. Pinuntahan muna si Emmanuel Comendador tsaka si Paul. Eventually kukunin sana din si Comendador, but he turned it down kasi he was with a team at the time, and then Paul eventually got in.
Ganda ng history, ano? Kasi even though yung mga side story nakikita namin, pare, ganun pala, di ba?
That was how it came together. Yung Alaska.
Okay. That's good. And then after how many years yung Alaska, and then you moved to?
Yung Alaska team kasi within the organization, parang medyo may rift din in terms of relationship between the coaching and the athletes eh. 2015, Banjo was supposedly out of the team. Yeah, ito real talk to. I don't know if a lot of people know, but 2015 Banjo was about to leave or not renew. And then he eventually realized that I was coming in and Paul Humamil was coming in. So sige, I'm gonna give it one more year.
Okay.
So we were together in the same house in Laguna for 2015, and then things got bad. On paper, we were really good. Like we had results. Like we were winning. We were on the forefront of triathlon at the time. But it wasn't really that good internally. We were
Internally,
like close,
within the
very
group.
now as the three of us are very close.
Yeah.
Until now, we were like brothers. But at the time, our relationship with the coaching staff wasn't really that good. And the problem is hindi rin alam ng mga ng yung mga management, so na may rift kami between the so by the end of actually after Ironman Cebu, we were actually decided that we're not gonna renew our contracts. So that was the time I was already looking for a team to land. And I won the Polog in 2015 as well. So and most of the management guys of Omega was there, including Paul, Jake, and Tony Son. And then nagkainuman sa barko going back to Cebu. And then that was like the start of the recruitment phase. And then I told them na maybe, baka. And then at the end of the year, binalikan nila ako, and I told them that I might get Paul and Banjo on board. And then by 2016, we were on the same team still, but with Omega.
Nice. Kumbaga, very influential ka kila Banjo sa kila Paul, ha?
Parang ako yung naging kuya at the time, because
You're
let's face it,
you're older, yeah.
yeah, I'm way older than
Magkakasing
them.
age group tayo eh.
Oo. Kasi ako yung parang naging kuya at the time. So but at the time then, they were also decided na they're not coming back. So it was only a matter of are you guys coming with me? And then we found Omega, maganda din yung nila, yung program nila. So we went to that team as well at 2016.
Nice. And Ish, ano yung pakiramdam nung na you belong to an elite group na kasama? Kasi ganito nung nag-start ako ng triathlon, ako kasi late ako nag-start ng triathlon. Yung mga sinasabi mo sa akin, Kim ngayon, yung about before 2016, 2017, I have no idea about that. Wala akong kumbaga dumating ako sa triathlon scene, andyan na sila Paul Humamil, sila Banjo Norte, yun yung mga pick nila. And kaya gusto ko, curious ako ngayon, I'm sorry about that, but ngayon ko lang nalaman na you have a very good achievement in 2014. And gusto
That's
natin
okay.
yan. Yeah, so si Ish ngayon, ano yung pakiramdam na kasama mo yung mga malulupit na player ng Omega?
Well, first of all, parang, I'm not telling this just to rub it in, but you're actually feeling starstruck. Like being one of not just like before I started in triathlon in 2016. So basically nakilala ko na yung mga magandang mga pangalan sa mga champions sa 2014, 15, and then coming to 2016. During that time, like I know like Paul Mamel, Banjo Norte, like the big guns, and Kristiane Lim. Like it's is this surreal that not just when you're wala ka sa team, pero nakilala mo sila or nakita mo sila sa like in person doon sa Abiliana Sports Complex where we usually swim or doing bike rides. Like it's just very surreal and then starstruck.
Yeah.
And not knowing like a year after my debut, like in 2016, 2017, doon ako sa Omega, but it's most likely coming out of friends and loyalty. I know that it's a very big team, and you will have like an image that triathletes coming from Rider Omega Pro are very good and great. But that can be one. But most likely it's a band of friends and
Yes.
out of loyalty and also like being competitive, not just for each other but for the rest of the nation.
Yeah.
Filipinas.
And
So it's a great team, in other words.
So itong tatlo ba na to, sila Banjo Norte, Paul Humamil, Kristiane Lim, talagang naging kumbaga paano nila naapektuhan yung team sa na-motivate sila? How, and you think that, for example, di ba, parang sabihin natin na sa panahon ng let's say, ano yun? Warriors, yung sa team sa NBA. Kaya dyan yung sila
Big
Paul.
three.
Big three, di ba? Tapos yung mga iba, mga bench na kasi sila talaga yung mga nakikita mo, front of your team. Di ba? Ano yung nun, effect nun?
Well,
Paano sila ang epekto sa'yo bilang isang athlete?
andun naman sila. Like I've spoken with Paul, Banjo, and they're always giving us some little nuggets of wisdom and also things to tweaks training, and also King. Like for sure, like again, like first time I met this guy, like he's a very in your face, but try not to get fooled with his attitude. But he's a very nice guy and very frank. But I like being like people that are very frank. Like I've learned a lot from them. Like those types of people like are like the foundation or your inspirations that what you have become right now. So basically, that's the reason why that I got inspired by triathlon is because of your community and your friends.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So maraming salamat. Ngayon, so sinabi mo sa akin, Lim, na you'd been a self-coach for many years. And
Mhm.
and also at the same time, you naging coach ka na, naging athlete ka na rin ng iba-ibang
Mhm.
Ah, paano ka nag-i-enjoy? Alam mo yung saan ka mas nag-i-enjoy sa pagiging naging athletes ka or naging self-coach ka at bakit?
That's a very difficult question because me, I'm very competitive. I love winning. I love like yeah. Maybe it's the reason why I'm still like competing at a high level until now. Maybe not as high as before, but I'm still at a high level. Because I really love to compete, and but that being said, ang sarap din sa pakiramdam like if one of your athletes, pulls through, that they achieve their goals. I have coach athletes na ngayon kasi I'm mostly like tailoring my coaching onto like the goals of my students, because before when I was starting with my coaching, as Ish said, I was like a really in your face kind of guy. So parang I get irritated na parang they're not, they're not onto the level that I want them to be.
Mm,
So now I'm kind of tailoring if like what do you really want? Do you want
mm,
fitness? Do you really want it? But I have had athletes who had like really extreme goals as well. Na like I want this time, I want to podium, or I want to go below 5 hours in a
mm,
70.3. And then if that's what you want, and then like if you're not acting to that level that you're where you're trying to get into, so doon mapapagalitan talaga kita in front of everyone else. Yeah, and then so far I'm very proud of my coaching as well, kasi I like Kyrie Mijares, at the time was like almost always parang hindi siya talaga maka-sub 5, like 5:20, 5:15. And when he was under my wing, he went straight to two sub 5 performances as well. So kasi at that time din parang inimmerse ko talaga siya on how to become like
mm.
an elite athlete, the attitude, like it's not just on training but like the day in the day out, how you take care
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yourself, yung parang ganon.
Yeah, yung you have to evolve another kind of lifestyle
Mm.
na para maging in tune ka sa mga program mo, kasi if you
Mm.
don't change your lifestyle or mindset, hindi ka magso-survive sa
Hindi,
mga
hindi.
training.
Hindi. It's parang you need to approach it at a holistic, you
Mhm.
know. You can't out exercise a bad diet, or you can't out train like lacking sleep, parang ganon. So it will be very difficult.
Yeah.
So follow-up questions for you, King. Like I know like it's a very cliche question, but how do you compare like triathlon sa Pilipinas noong like around 2011 at ngayon? How do you compare it?
Biggest difference is it's super expensive.
Mas expensive
10
ngayon kesa before.
yes. Yes. Uh in some ways it's cheaper, and in some ways it's a lot more expensive. The registration fees before, kasi most of the triathlons before when I was starting was under TRAP, or was under the national program. So the
Mm.
government is like funding these races. I got actually recruited by the national team 3 times or 4 times at my younger days, kasi they were staging Speedo and AGT, National Age Group Triathlon,
Mm.
3 times in Plantation Bay and once in Danao. Like I out of the 4, I won overall sa tatlo ba yun or 2 of them.
Mhm.
and then got invited to the national team. But at the time, my father just died, and then like I don't have like really, I needed to work to survive, so di ko pwedeng iwan yung trabaho ko.
So when you say
But
national team, ito yung mga pinagko-compete na sana sa ano, no? Sa
yes,
Asian
yes,
team.
yes.
Wow.
But yeah, but I did at the time kasi hindi rin uso yung, kasi that's why I'm saying na it could be cheaper now, because at the time hindi rin uso yung mga private na ano company sponsoring athletes, kasi it's just you.
Mm.
So at mostly yung nagso-survive sa national team yung mga may pera din talaga.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one. And then, but that being said, yung mga registration fees before was like 500, 1,000. Now it's like 10K, 20K,
Really?
28. Yeah. So it's the ano. But again, we have like a lot of teams now that has sponsors. Imaginein mo yung nanalo ako ng Filipino Elite. I was at that
2014.
14,
Yun
yeah.
yun.
I was at that level already na pwede na akong maging like one of the best in the country, but at that time I still paid for my registration. Compared to compared to guys like now, I see guys there yung mga oras nila sa 70.3 is nahihirapan nga mag below 6 hours, and then they're getting free registration from their sponsors, di ba? And at the time I was like one of the best guys, and then I'm still paying for my registration. Kasi now marami na mga private companies, marami the
And
they already
if you are also known in social media, talaga if maganda yung presence mo sa social media, makakahata ka rin talaga ng sponsorship.
yes. Kasi dati even if you have like a very big influence in social media, hindi rin talaga uso yung sponsors eh. And compared to now, like a big company will sponsor a team, kahit yung mga hindi magaling is maso-sponsor na din, or like yung parang ganon. At the time sa amin wala talaga, it's like kanya-kanyang bayad talaga.
Grabe. And I think tawag dito. So I think meron follow-up question si Ish dito, ano yan gusto niya makita before we proceed on paano ka nag-prepare sa ano. King, ano yung Ish, ano yung question mo? Sa mga unang question mo.
Well, like tayong tatlo parang mga family guy na tayo, so how do you balance those times, especially like you have a kid and then
Yeah.
also a wife to manage. So mahirap ba?
Difficult. It's an everyday puzzle. It's a push and pull. But what I would say is, family first, talaga. Like it sounds cliche, but kahit like if you prioritize your training, or prioritize your racing, even if you do that, once you're on the race or once you're on training, yung utak mo na sa anak mo, wala rin kwenta yung gagawin mo. So do what's yung basic first, or what's yung priority talaga. And then once you get that settled, you get you get a clear view na in your head na on what to do next, or what to do in training. Kasi if you leave a kid behind na parang may dapat gawin tapos hindi mo ginawa, yung training mo magiging basura din, kasi ang iisip mo nasa pamilya mo eh.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
So sila yung naghahawak ng
Oo.
kaban ng
Then-
bayan
then
natin. So
Yeah. And then it's an evolving puzzle. I'm not even close to saying na I've got it figured out, because I don't. And but I guess I'm coping up well. But I would say that I can really get better pa.
So and also ngayon, King, gusto namin malaman yung experience mo nung ikaw yung nag-third overall noong 2014, at the same time you are employed. Kumbaga parang I think most of your, sabihin natin, I think the top 5 athletes during that time. Okay? Ikaw, yung pangatlo, employed. I think yung 4 doon is full-time triathlete.
I would say at until sa top 10 siguro.
Until sa top 10 full-time triathlete.
Oo.
Ay, ano yung training mo? Paano mo? Talagang, that's a very interesting story, very inspiring, kasi para sa atin, di ba? We are in the reality na we have families, we have jobs. But then, there were a time na you were able to, Tell us about it.
At that time talaga, it's just mostly focus. It's also a benefit that like I was single at the time. I'm living with my wife right now. Hindi pa kami married at the time, but that was the ginagawa ko talaga is like since I'm already performing din, I asked my company na baka pwede akong mag-lock ng schedule because sa naman if you work in a call center, nagsi-shift yung schedule mo eh. So
Okay.
yeah, I asked them that in return I could like carry the name of the company on my races. Just please like have me at a weekend off and then like a fixed schedule. So I chose 8 to 5. 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. though. That's a graveyard shift. Yeah. At I don't know why, but
Hindi ba mahirap mag-training sa graveyard shift? That's
hindi ko
another question pa. Parang pwede ka mag-training pero paano ka nagkaroon ng quality training pa rin?
I can't answer. What happened? It actually became easy for me because I have like a set schedule to do. Ang ginagawa ko is like I work and then by 5 a.m. I must get a workout in. Like pwedeng diretso na ako sa sports center to do a swim or a run, or I could do like a bike ride. Kasi it's counterproductive then if I go home straight and then I sleep. Kasi like I go out at 5 a.m. by 5:30 I'm home. If I sleep right there and then by 12 noon I'm already awake. So if you come to think of it, 8 p.m. pa yung shift ko. Before my shift starts, I already have like an 8-hour window na awake. So magsisimula yung ako ng work na inaantok na. So after my shift, I would like allot like 2 hours of training and then I'd sleep and then I wake up by around 4, I'll train again and then I'll go straight to the office. And then during on my lunch breaks, I will sleep for an hour. That was like parang wala akong friends. And people at the time parang I remember people as branding me na parang snobbish or masungit kasi by the time I'm in the pool you will not be able to talk to me.
You're so focused.
My idea there is get the workout done para hindi ka malate sa trabaho. Like once I start my workout, you will not be able to talk to me like kahit konti because I will finish my workout and I will get out of there. And sometimes dumadating pa ako sa office na amoy swimming pool or amoy chlorine.
And give us an idea mga ilang oras yung training hours mo during weekly training hours mo that time.
Actually, the volume is high because I would allot like 1.5 to 2 hours in the morning and then another 1.5 to 2 hours in the afternoon before I go to work. And then that's every day.
Wow.
And then
so hindi baba ng mga 15 yun?
Hindi. I don't think so. And then by the weekend, kasi I asked for a Friday night off and a Saturday night off. So on the week, kasi gusto ko on Saturday morning, I'd be available for the weekend group rides. So by Friday night, I don't have work. So I'll sleep. And then by Saturday morning, I have like a long ride plus a run. And then I'll swim in the afternoon. And then the next day, Sunday morning, I will swim in the morning just to shake off the legs. And then before working again Sunday night, I will put in like a 2-hour or 3-hour long run.
Salamat.
And then Mondays are rest days.
Nice. Na-inspired kami dalawa ni Ish na alam mo no, focus lang, time management, mag-i-improve ka, mag-grow ka, talagang maayos mo yung race mo. Hopefully maayos din namin yung mga race namin na hindi man to the point na the highest level, di ba? Pero at least continue consistently getting our PBs, have a good race number.
If you're committed, it's only a matter of time lang naman talaga.
Yeah. Right. So, Ish, meron siyang gustong question.
So, we all know, like King has been like winning lots of middle distance, like half Ironman distance. Pero King, kailan yung 100% commitment, 100% training mo sa talking about full Ironman in the future? Any plans doing a full Ironman?
Actually, I plan on redoing Ironman Subic next year. Next year, if hopefully I get my I get my training straightened out because it takes a lot of time. Actually, the plan was 2020 I was gonna bid and qualify for Kona at that year before nagka-pandemic. Because I said I started 2011, but I started like the real journey on 2010 because I started running 2010. So that was like 10 years. So like parang yun yung pagiging graduation ko. And I was training well until the pandemic happened, or until the lockdown, and then everything got canceled. Ang nangyari kasi at that time was like during that my time with Omega, when we were teammates with Ish, I was almost unbeaten sa 30 to 35 age group in whatever races that I joined. The only time I got beaten, I think, was 2017 Tri-United 1. I got beaten by a foreigner, and then 2017 then sa Ironman Cebu, I got beaten by a teammate, Brian Borling. But outside of that, I was like dominating the 30 to 35 age group. And by 2020 was my last year at that age bracket. So I want to join the full Ironman to qualify for Kona. But yes, then again, it got canceled. So it got moved to 2020 October, and then it got moved to 2021 March, and then got moved again until it pushed through last year. But when it pushed through last year, I knew that it will push through December, and then I have like 3 months to train. That's already too short. And as I was started to train for it, nagka-audit pa dito sa Cebu. So I didn't have training for like over a month kasi walang tubig at kuryente. And I had to fend for my family. And what's funny is February 14, Valentine's yun eh. Nung tinawagan ako ng team I was with Organic at the time, tinawagan ako, if you wanna continue with the race, we'll buy you a plane ticket and a hotel. And at that time, I was like 0-0 na talaga sa training eh. So, and before that, I had like 0 running and 0 swimming kasi nga may pandemic. But I was riding my bike due to my cycling vlog. So I decided to just push through to vlog the entire thing so I joined Ironman Subic with 3 weeks of
3
training.
weeks. I remember that. Use it.
So yeah, the motivation there was just to finish the race and make a story out of that no training kasi actually if I went to the yung parang awarding, I would have like been awarded with a Kona slot kasi nagro-roll down yun eh. And then at that time there was like it was the record high of most slots given kasi ang dami ding races from other countries that got canceled, so many slots were given to like if you put it into context, Jong sa Holga was like 9 hours 45 sa 2018 in Subic, and he didn't qualify for Kona. And people who's clocking in 13 hours on 2022 was qualifying for Kona. So parang binibigay na lang. And then Princess was trying to say na mag-join ka sa Kona kasi but for me iniisip ko din it's just more of like a pride thing kasi sabi ko I want to do it right, I want to do it on the proper circumstances. And also at the time sira pa yung bubong namin, ang dami pang sira sa bahay.
Hindi pa yun yung priority.
Hindi pa, never pa yung priority. Like what would my wife think, pupunta ako ng Hawaii and then ang dami pang problema dito sa bahay, yung car ng mom ko nasira, na natumbahan ng puno, yung house namin sa Cebu wasak yung buong 3rd floor. So ang dami pang dapat pag-alat ng budget. And then like going to Kona is like parang it's not an adult decision to make.
Yeah. So, as question lang ako, naging interested lang ako sa sinabi mo, no, na kasi meron na mga kaibigan, I think 14 hours, 13 hours or sa ano sa Ironman Philippines, but they got the slot.
Mm.
Let's say sabihin natin, walang problema sa ano sa bahay niyo. Kumbaga walang kailangan ayusin, but then hindi maganda yung preparation mo, and then you have that hours, and if you get the slot, are you still going to go to Kona, or you wanted na gusto mo talaga yung alam mo na pinaghirapan mo? Kasi
Mm.
nakita namin yung forma mo during that time. Naka
Deform, no?
deform, so
Oo. I would say if like binigyan din ako ng chance and then I didn't have family problems at the
Mm,
time, I would say I would go. And
mm,
and I would validate whatever doubts that I have
yeah,
with
during
a
the
good
race.
performance in
yeah,
Kona. Like if I my thinking is if I can put out like a good performance in Kona, people wouldn't wonder why I got there at the first place
yeah,
in the first place.
that's good. That's good.
Mm.
Yeah. So ngayon, Christian, gusto namin malaman yung preparation mo kasi ang isa sa mga laging tinatanong ko dito yung how do you train in your previous race, and gusto ko rin
Mhm.
malaman yung mga opinion mo kasi medyo naging controversial yung ano no, hindi naman controversial, but for me, I want to know yung mga opinion ng mga tao about the swim split later on.
Mhm.
So tell us, how did you train sa previous Davao 70.3? What was your target time, swim split, bike split, run split, and how do you prepare yourself na makatakbo na maayos sa run leg? Because I always hear na masyadong mainit lagi yung run sa Davao.
Davao. With Davao, it's very tricky for me because first of all, I don't like really racing big races in March because it's too early in the season. I like to
Mm,
take my December off, and usually sa December's ko, I would like lift weights. I would like, I would cross train to the gym
mm,
kasi
mm,
I'm a bit old na din, and I'm a firm believer din of strength training. I still lift weights even on like even on the regular weeks kahit may races na. I just, program ko na lang yon. But that being said, isa pa din is I wasn't telling everyone. I hurt my back and hips during a crash in Surigao. And medyo may edad na tayo, matagal nag-heal up yung hips ko. So that, parang na-push back pa yung how would I periodize for March or for Davao. So it wasn't the best of preparations, but I would say maganda yung fitness ko going into the race. And speaking of like swim splits, bike splits, and run splits, I'm never the guy. I'm never the guy who has like a target number.
mhm.
I'm a very reactive person on the race. So
On the race,
like
okay.
I will take it as it is. Like
Mm,
the the reason why I actually, my race got uh, derailed in Davao, I believe, is when Brian Borling came by and flew. Like I I went with him, like,
mm,
and then in the previous years that was okay because he had the power to like drop me and stay away. And at this point of the year, I had my like parang nag-come into fruition yung strength training ko, and I have like a better bike fitness than kasi sa 70.3 ang binabantayan ko talaga is Brian Borling because he's a very strong rider
mhm,
and he could like stay in front and he could like extend the gap on the bike that I wouldn't be able to catch him on the run. So my
mm.
focus was on him and not on everyone else because like he was the champ. He won our age group in Palawan. So my
Okay.
eyes are on him. So yeah, yun yung nangyari. Sinundan ko siya sa bike. But I blew up sa run. I did catch
Mhm.
him. Actually, I did beat him on that day, but so did but my I my 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 finish time wasn't like optimal because I was trying just to beat the guy and like, I didn't mind everyone else.
I
So
really like how you explain it, and I really like the word using "beat the guy," you know?
mhm,
Ito yung sinasabi ni Ish na kung ano yung asa mo, sasabihin mo talaga. And
mm,
for me, kumbaga, it's good to talk to a person na very competitive at the same time. It's not about, yeah, you want to beat him, but I know you are good friends with Brian.
Yes, like that. Ask Brian himself. He's the
Mhm.
when he beat me in Cebu 2017. I was the first guy to congratulate him, and
Mm,
we do have that parang mutual respect na each
yes.
time mag-aabot kami sa races, it's gonna be hard for for each of us
Mm,
kasi we have that kasi alam niya what I'm capable of, and then
mm,
we've been racing like
mm.
for 10 years na, so and I don't think he would take it as a like an insult or anything, but to
It's
like
more of
beating
a
me.
friendly banter kasi
Yeah, yeah.
kaibigan naman kayo. At saka I know
Oh,
Brian for sure, like he's a very powerful cyclist.
yeah. And like it's a compliment na din kasi if
Mhm.
you're a nobody, I wouldn't.
That's how you show respect to that
Mm-mm,
person.
mm-mm. Because if you're a nobody, I wouldn't mind you in the race anyway. Mm.
That's good. That's good. And so ngayon, when you say you're getting reactive sa race, kasi kami hindi naman talaga kami nagko-compete na to get to the podium, ano.
Mm.
Ikaw, you're always wanted to be in the podium, and that's a very good way for you to motivate. That's one way for you to get more focus. And when you say you don't have any target time, it's more on reactive. So during the start or bago mag-start ng race, kilala mo na dapat kung sino yung mga dapat mong
Yes,
anuhin.
yes.
So sa age group mo, sino-sino yung ano? Kasi ang problema lang kapag merong foreign, 'di ba? Hindi mo masyadong
Yeah, yeah,
kilala.
yeah.
Pero sa age group mo, sino yung top, let's say top 4 kayo, 'di ba? Top 4, top
Ah,
5, sino yung mga binabantayan mo lagi?
actually, naging all-star na to yung age group namin
Mm.
in Davao. Because if you come to think of it, Jornard Saem was there. Jornard Saem is like a national team member, and then like he's very good athlete as well. Emmanuel Comendador. We know Emmanuel Comendador, di
Mhm.
ba? Is a
Mabilis
national
tumakbo,
team daw
mabilis
athlete. Oh,
mag-ride.
yes. And andun din si Benjamin Rania from Legazpi City, a former Filipino elite. He was actually the guy I beat in Cebu for third place when I
Mhm.
won. So Ben was there, and then of course Brian Borling was
Mhm.
there, and then this up and coming guy Regan Nabua from
Yeah,
Baguio.
Luzon.
Yeah. So him as well, and myself.
Mhm.
So marami kami. And but my focus there was actually just Brian. It was
Mhm.
just Brian. Because
For him, siya yung parang a
yeah,
person to
because
beat.
my idea was like if I beat Brian, then it's most likely I've beaten everyone else. Yeah, and in that race I've beaten Brian, but
Mm.
Regan Nabua got the better of us.
Mhm.
Kasi we were like really duking each other out on the bike. We didn't think that there was a 21K run after. And then when Reagan passed us on the run, like naloko na. wala na sa atin yung
So tell us about, kasi ano, di ba? Tell us about kung paano mo isisid yung sarili mo sa swim para the same time, kumbaga, ano yung strategy mo na magkasabay-sabay kayo? Kasi narinig ko yung mga pro, this is how they will swim, ito yung ipipwesto nila sa swim para ngayon kapag, somehow makakasama nila to, at pag sa
Mhm.
T1, T2, tell us about yung strategy mo sa umpisa.
My strategy was like I'm a better swimmer than Brian and Reagan and
Mm,
most of my age group,
mm,
actually, because I am a past swimmer. So my strategy was like get ahead on the swim, and then once on I like get a cushion, relax, get
mhm,
your nutrition in. Once they pass, that's the real race starts. So I have that luxury. I am a better swimmer than Brian, so
mhm,
I could just watch out for him on the bike, and then when he passes, then that's where I will reassess if kaya ba,
mhm,
if I hang on, if I could, this is too tough. But usual cases, I just let him go, and I learned my lesson in Palawan that I let him go, and then he was too far out, and hindi ko na naabutan sa run. So
mhm,
this time I rolled the dice and like, okay, let's try to go with Brian. And I would say my mistake this year was like I went with Brian for too long
mhm,
because I decided to let him go na lang talaga during the last 20K to save myself, but
mhm,
I could have like done that earlier to save my legs for the run. But
mhm.
the problem with that dynamic is once Brian realized that he's not detaching me, he was continuing attacking, and then I was responding, and then we both had like pretty bad runs after that. We were ahead, quite ahead compared to ibang field. Inabutan lang talaga kami ni
Mhm.
Reagan.
Mhm. Oh, good to know. It's a very
Yeah.
ang sarap pakinggan ng mga story nyo, no?
That's the good thing about like elite level racing is there's actually a race. It's
Mhm.
not more of like a time trial to the finish
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
there's really racing involved. So that's why I like yung parang Olympic distance to 70.3 compared to like the full Ironman. It's like bahala ka sa buhay mo, I will mind my own. Yung parang ganon.
Like talking about like the last race skiing, like I know like some controversies last swim. I know like most of the people were disappointed and got mad with the swim split cancellation. So ano ba yung comments mo dyan? Like
I don't really agree with the decision because most of the contenders actually are like did finish the swim. I mean,
Mhm.
those who mattered in the race did finish the swim.
Yeah.
They were saying na the buoys got detached and the swim got longer, but that was for all of us.
Part of the
I
game,
swam, yeah,
part
I
of the
swam like
situation.
close to 2.4, 2.3K. And like if you were there at the race during the race, it would be like kasi like say for example with the guys like Banjo was way ahead with compared to like Alcala. Like they
Mhm.
were like on the rivals on their age group,
Mhm.
like isang barangay yung agwat nila. But on the finish line, when the results came out, Alcala eventually had like got the better of Banjo by a minute.
Mhm.
It's just so wrong. It's
Mhm.
triathlon, and then they canceled the swim because it's it's the force of nature. Tinatawag nating event na Ironman.
Mhm.
Where's the Ironman part of this if we're getting too soft? I mean, I think they made the parang business decision kasi maraming magko-complain because the swim was hard. There's no two ways about it, but they could have just like gotten the yung mga if you were to ask me if you didn't make it to the swim, because I've seen like really weak swimmers who still managed to finish the swim, but if you didn't finish that swim compared to like say for example 2016 and 2018 Cebu where the current is really bad, it was like even worse in Davao. The only thing that was worse in Davao is that the buoys got detached and made the swim like longer for everyone. But
Mhm.
current wise, mas malakas yung sa Cebu sa 2016.
Oh,
And
okay.
and
what they did was they just, adjusted the cut-off time para
Mhm.
maano. And
And I do
in
believe like parang part yung swim buoys sa topic natin or yung sa decisions. Like, do you think there's like in the future, like the Philippines can do like without the ropes and buoys, like doing like the same with the international swim part, like malaking buoys lang.
So,
yeah,
Walang
lagi ba talagang
walang rope.
merong may line?
Meron most likely sa Pilipinas.
Oh,
So
okay.
that can be very different towards like the other countries. But I'm not saying that
Yeah.
it's making like the weak swimmers weak, but do you think that would be
yeah,
a
I
solution with it?
yeah, I sure hope na gawin nila yon because there are people that are on the winning circle that are notorious for pulling the buoys. There are
Oh,
people
really?
like yeah. I was like, I remember on Tri United races there was a duathlete that when I came out of the water, shit, what kasama ko to? And that being said, mas maganda sa talaga yung like yung sinasabi ni Ish na there's big boys and then you
Yeah.
just target that next boy,
Mhm.
just color coordinate it so
Kasi
that
wala
people
nang
will not.
sighting eh. Wala nang sighting, di ba? At the
Oh.
same time, magkikreate ng traffic.
Mm-mm. The purpose of the buoys I would say is they're making it like
Safe.
of course it's a business. They're making it safer and para mas maraming beginners na
But the
mag-join.
thing is that hindi magi-evolve yung Filipino
Yes.
community natin.
Yes.
Kasi alam natin
And
na we as a Filipino, we are still young when it comes to swimming.
yes. Very we're very behind.
Like
And yeah,
same. Like dito ako sa Canada. So I moved to Canada in 2017, and my first triathlon race was there were no ropes. So how did I manage that? So adapt lang. So
Oh, yeah.
mahirap.
At
I was a weak swimmer. A weak swimmer ako. So trying to adapt things, do sighting, and it
mm,
pays dividends, you know.
yeah.
So hopefully.
At some point mag-a-adapt naman talaga eh, but
Mhm.
I'm hoping that's a move organizers will make kasi it's parang it will really help the entire community move forward din.
Move forward. Yes, yes. That's good. Kasi, well, siguro, there would be a time na maraming ma-DDNF sa swim. But in reality, it is an
It is
eye-opener sa mga tao na
yeah.
they have to work hard.
Yeah, yes. This is as I've said, this event is called an Ironman. Then
Yeah.
if ganun yung if we were being too soft with our participants, then parang it's the parang the bragging rights are getting lessened and lessened because a lot of the weaker athletes are being able to finish. It's supposed to be tough. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be tough.
Yeah, it should be tough. And it is 1.9. Hindi lang siya 750, 100,
Mm.
1,500, 1,000, yeah, 1,500
Yeah, 1.5.
meters. Pero, yeah, I remember nung nasa Cebu ako, 2017, nanood ako ng Ironman. Ang daming na-cut off noon. Tapos,
Mhm.
isa sa mga kausap ko, yung isa sa mga na-cut off, sabi niya, nanghihinayang talaga ako. Narinig ko sila na nagkakwentuhan. Sabi niya, nanghihinayang talaga ako. Alam ko naman na I did my best. Tapos pamaya-maya, na-curious na ako. Sabi niya, Sir, ano ba yung pinakamahaba mong nalangoy? The longest that I run is 1K. And what
Mm.
pace? And then calculated ka kaagad. Sabi ko, kung hindi ka magbibigay ng buffer at this is your pace, kumbaga masusunog ka talaga.
Mhm. Yes. You really need to pay the dues before you'll be able to finish it. Mm.
And
You know.
yeah, malaking topic 'yan.
Malaki.
So ngayon ito yung pinaka exciting, or we say like most exciting part sa interview ngayon. Like we're talking about techs now, or gadgets.
Yeah.
Swim, bike, and run. What do you have? Like I know like you're very avid guy, sponsored sa Trek, sponsored sa
Mhm.
Vitargo, sa nutrition, on sa
Yeah.
running. Like tell us like each sa mga disciplines or aspects sa swim, bike, and run, go-to technologies and things na imong ginagamit like all day and race day.
Swim, basically the same back when I was in college. It's just purely goggles and the swim pads, and it still works. I mean, uh, what I learned to love is yung swim band,
Mhm.
or yung you put a band on your ankle so that you wouldn't be able to kick. Yeah, that
Okay.
really helps in the open water.
Oh,
Kasi
really?
it will help. I mean, it will increase your stroke rate in the open water, especially if it's choppy, if it's my current. You need to turn your hands faster, and then that will force you to really turn your hands because you don't have a kick. So
Mhm.
when you don't have a kick, your feet will start to sink, and then once that sinks,
Mhm.
basically swimming like this, and it's very
Oo.
drag. So
Dragging.
bibilisan mo, gaganon ulit yung ano mo. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm a firm believer of that. I've started doing that in 2015 when we were with Alaska, and I've heard even if you look at yung mga IG stories or IG reels ni Jan Frodino, he's very big on that as well.
Mhm.
So yeah. And
Yeah.
on the bike, nothing really special. Volume lang talaga. Yeah, like volume with the proper intent. It's not always hard, but with um I I I I believe like I'm a better bike rider even at my age now. I'm a better bike rider compared to back then. Just because of the technology and the amount of wisdom that I have
Mhm.
training. Because before it was like go hard, go hard, go hard. Now
And I think I
uh,
remember like King is always influencing people to use the power meter. That was
yes,
back
yes,
then, 2016. So how much
yes,
more ngayon na mostly available na yung mga power meters
yeah,
ngayon, di ba?
yeah. It's the single best thing you can buy on for your bike,
So,
basically.
so King, tanong ko lang kasi sinabi mo na during the race you don't care about your numbers, like parang ang pinaka main reaction mo sa race is how the race evolved
Yes.
with your competitor. But during that time, tinitignan mo ba yung power meter mo sa
Yes.
right?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, I do look at it, but like
You
it's
don't
just
care.
parang suggestion. Yeah, I don't care.
Mm,
I it's a tool for me for training most
mhm,
especially. But in racing, but for me it's still important to have that instinct, to have that I there's a lot of races that I won that I don't have a single gadget on me. There's
mhm,
a lot of races that I raced without even a watch, just like go out there and run. Yung parang gano. So, but on training, I'm very technical. I'm very methodical with what I do,
mhm,
especially on the bike. I have a power meter, heart rate, yung ganon.
mhm,
And I have like um I'm interested in connecting with yung Super Sapiens. I think it's a very
yeah.
good tool. Yeah. So hopefully I can get that partnership as well.
Wow.
And yeah. Because I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse, so I would know how to use it, and how I would know how to, and I would know the importance of it as well.
That's good. Yeah, it's very interesting kasi para akong nakikinig sa mga podcast ng mga pro na how they train, and it's kasi ano yun, the way you explain, like you're not talking about numbers on the swim, you're talking about taking risks, you're talking about racing. And yun yung isa sa mga gusto ko talagang marinig na kasi to be honest, dalawa yung klase yung nakikinig sa atin dito. There will be people na competitive na they want to be in your mindset, or you have the same mindset. Meron din yung mga tao na gusto lang makatapos at
Yes.
gusto lang na, oy, I have the medal. For you, for sure, you don't care about medal.
Yeah.
You don't
No.
care about that.
No.
You don't even care about whether it's PB or not. You care about
No.
position.
Yes, position. I could finish in a race, like a 70.3 race, in 6 hours, but as long as I'm ahead of you, I'll be happy with that. Yung
Yeah.
parang ganon. Like if you see the the time where I was side by side with Banjo on the
Mhm,
run,
mhm.
if you look at that picture, I don't have a watch on.
Oh, really?
Wala akong relo. Yeah.
Nung recently? Ay, nung
Yung
Omega.
parang throwback pic, you were wearing Omega. The guy behind actually was Paul Humamil.
Paul Humaville.
Yeah. So at the time, I really don't care how fast or how slow we're going, as long as I'm ahead. That was the main goal there. I'm not really a numbers guy when it comes to racing. Like it's a race, so I could be on I could be doing my personal best, but if someone was ahead, then it doesn't matter.
That's good. Yeah.
Like, King, everyone would love to, parang would like to hear sa ano ba yung feel mo sa bagong bike mo.
Well, it's
Tell
very
us.
good. Very good. Kasi for the longest time, I mean, time trial bikes, like parang shit talaga yung braking. Like, that being said, the old speed concept was one of the better bikes na merong integrated brakes and still works very, very well. But the new one, you could really, parang it had, I don't know what, the parang ilang years ba, more like 6-7 years before the new one came out, and then parang just made it a lot better than the old bike. The top tube bento box was in the frame, not on top of the frame.
Mhm.
Yung parang
Mas
storage
more on aerodynamic pa.
and then it looks good. It just looks good. And yung parang storage solution nila for the flat kits, it's inside the frame compared to like dangling out of the handesado. Everything was like well thought, I would say. There's a few things that I would want to tweak, like especially yung aero bars. Kasi I could easily see someone na yung, di ba, I'm pretty sure ish with the aero bar on the background. Di ba, most of the guys are like tilting the aero bars together.
Position, yeah.
You can't do that with you can't do that with the concept, because parang triangular yung tube, so hindi mo matitilt. But that's a very fixable. You just buy
a new aero bar set.
So basically, parang para sa'yo personally, wala nang unnecessary mga setup sa speed concept mo. As is lang.
As
yung
is lang.
setup.
I just, I would, the thing I would change
Nothing to
basically was just the wheels. I just, because moving from a rim brake to a disc brake is expensive.
Mhm.
Lalo na, naka-disc pa.
Kasi it's a whole new system eh. So the old parts will not go into the new bike. So you'll
Yeah.
bibili ka talaga.
And
So hopefully I can get
curious
Go,
lang
go.
ako, King, kasi ano yung size ng tire mo ngayon? Kasi alam ko you can go up to 30 daw or 28,
32.
32.
You can
Wow.
go up to 32.
Oh.
But I'm using 28. You can go
28.
up to 32. Yeah.
So
I
before
have
on your previous bike, ano yung tire mo?
28 din.
28 din.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm one of the first movers to the big tires.
So, comfort over power? Or aero?
Hindi. Because I believe, firmly believe that yung nag-third ako sa Filipino Elite 2014, I was riding 25C tires at the time.
Mhm.
And my
Technology
competitive
before 23. During that
19, 22.
22.
Yeah. Tubular tires back then was 22. Walang 23, di ba?
Mhm.
And 22 to 25 was a big jump.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I remember looking at SRP, medyo matagtag. So I was one of the first few guys na parang nag-isip na I want to ride 25C tires. And I remember Ralph Shos I was like, bro, this is so slow. Now it feels fast.
Yellow.
Because
And green.
I didn't want the matagtag na
Red. And
So I was the
King.
first mover.
Oh, sorry. Like
Yeah.
aside from like the bikes, talking about bikes, how about bike fits? Like some people are very curious how you do your own bike fits by yourself, like without any like professional setups with others. Ano ba yung technique mo?
For me, it's mostly feel. And to debunk the I do my own bike fit, si Itok does my bike fit. And he's been my training partner for a long time, so he knows what works for me and what doesn't. So that being said, I was fitted by Frederick Martin Ilagan, or Forward Motion Performance, in 2016. Yeah, and back then when he wasn't even like known as a good bike fitter, bike fit na din niya kami in our training camp in Laguna. And I kept the numbers. I still have like the reach, I have the numbers.
Nice.
To be honest with you, in one of the cabinets in autofocus where Itok works, ando nakasulat yung numbers ko. So each time I have a new bike, pinoport lang namin yung measurements.
Nice.
And then may konting tweaks lang kasi not all geometries are the same. So tinutweak lang namin yung konting-konti just for the handling, but for the most part it's basically the same fit as I have in 2016.
Nice. Well, that's a very good information. And especially when you say comfort, ano yung sinasabi mo when you're trying to adjust something? Paano masasabi na this is comfortable for you? This is may hinihintay mo ba na meron pang sumakit or what?
Actually, yung ginagawa ko is I don't recommend this, but parang what looks Instagrammable for me is yung kasi we don't have we don't have like aerodynamic or wind tunnels.
Wind tunnels.
So parang ina-eyeball ko lang na, so dapat my alignment would be like this. And what's good with like having an aggressive position, like if you have like a very low front end, the handling of the bike improves significantly. Like you can corner way faster.
The lower you go, it improves more. Okay.
Yeah, because the center of gravity goes lower. You're putting more weight to the front wheel, so you can corner way better. So it's just a matter of are you able to adapt yourself into the position. That's why I'm saying na don't follow me in that regard, because I'm very flexible. Kasi I came from a swimming background.
But they will follow you. Yun yung sinabi mo.
I do a lot of, well, if you want to follow, then do it properly. I do a lot of like weightlifting and like strength work and like mobility work in the gym. So that enables me I'm pretty sure you couldn't find somebody on a TT bike that has a more aggressive position than I am. Like here in the Philippines,
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
yung parang yung mga elite level athletes,
Yeah.
especially with the bike that I had, my setup for Ironman Cebu. Yeah, like I there was like quite a few comments there that like, wow, how are you able to put yourself
Sustain.
into that position? Yeah,
Mhm.
but that position was basically I can do it for 180K as well.
Speedo shorts. What's up?
Actually, matagal ng plano yun eh. 2012, 2013, we were thinking of doing it with Team Parklane before the team I had before Alaska. Matagal na yung plano, but it never materialized kasi some of the guys aren't willing. But I have always thought that it's doable, especially on race day. I would never do it on training kasi no, not only that it looks silly on training, but
Mhm.
the thing is when you're racing, you're actually putting power to the pedals. So once you're riding hard,
Mhm.
the most of your weight are on the pedals, and yung weight na nasa saddle mo is na offset ng yung pagpadjak mo.
Mm.
Because you're riding hard, most likely you're floating on the saddle.
Mhm.
Hindi ka talagang nakaupo-upo compared to
And
the
and and
training.
and less restriction ba kasi walang shorts na mahaba, hindi masyadong pumipigil sa legs mo. Yun ba yung parang napapansin mo?
I'm doing it like for the ventilation din talaga.
Mhm.
Kasi it's super hot here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, I did multiple talks with Tim Reed. Yung he's I forgot what year, but he became world champion sa 70.3,
Yeah.
and he was
2016 I think.
previously sponsored by Trek. So I had the opportunity to talk to him personally, and then nagchat kami sa Instagram. So I asked him some specific questions, and I did ask him kasi people are wearing sleeve jerseys on the bike for aerodynamics, and then I did ask him how much are we looking at, because of course I'm very competitive, and I'm a data driven guy as well. So I want to know how much I'm losing if ever I'm going into that route. And he told me this, na you would be surprised that you're not actually on a very big aerodynamic penalty if you're wearing swim briefs and yung sleeveless.
Mhm.
Kasi he said that if you actually buy those branded sleeves or sleeve jersey, like Castelli or Trimtex or whatever's on top of the game right now, or yung Ryzen na ginagamit ni Ian Ferdinand, then that you're gaining an advantage, but that's very, very expensive.
Okay.
If you're looking at brands like PSI, brands
Mhm.
like CCN, who's like
The
making,
affordable or normal.
yeah, the normal brands, he said that if you're buying like small, extra small, medium, or like parang if it's not tailor made for you, then you're not actually having like very much, very much advantage. And I have raced sleeve jerseys before, or sleeve tri suits, and I just didn't like it. It's very hard to like kasi mainit sa run.
Mhm.
And my biggest problem is it's super constricting when I'm swimming. Uh, the first time I used a sleeve jersey was in Lanao 2017, and 300 meters into the swim I want to stop kasi masakit yung shoulders ko. Yeah, and then eventually I managed to use it, or to get used to it, but iba pa rin talaga yung sleeveless on the swim. Especially coming from me, I came from a swimming background, so I would love to have like parang yung freedom sa shoulders. And what I saw with the pros is that tinatanggal nila yung top,
Mhm.
tinatago nila sa swim skins, but that doesn't work with our local brands here, kasi pag sinusuot mo parang nagiging long sleeve, it sticks to your arm, it's very difficult to put on once it's wet. So I did a research, or nag-research na lang ako na, so I asked Team Reed na if I can go the swim brief route, which I had always wanted to do before. So yun na. We did it together with Omega before.
Mhm.
Banjo, me, Paul, and Welmar Saavedra. The four of us went swim briefs in a race in Cebu. And Banjo and Welmar had like nasty blisters on on some areas I cannot
I still have
disclose.
some photos of those. May
Yeah,
mga
yeah.
trato
Yeah,
nga ako
yeah.
dun.
So yeah, they didn't like it, and I found it to be okay. So I went with the swim brief route. But that being said, I'm still looking to, yeah. Kasi ako, it's basically how I feel. Kasi
Mhm.
on some of my races, then I'm wearing the regular sleeveless na
Mhm.
tri-suit. But rarely mo ako makikita with the sleeved kasi,
Mhm.
as I've said, it's very hard to swim on.
Yeah. That's a very good point, ano? Kasi for example, kagaya ng sinabi mo, if you're not going to buy those very high-end na tailor-made,
Mm.
and you're just doing an ordinary like I'm extra small ako. I noticed na if on the bike like ang dami pa ring mga ano kulubot. And they
Yes,
said that the
exactly.
wrinkles is the one who will drag
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Because according to research, or according to like the research that I've read and I saw on like YouTube or wherever, or um textile is faster than skin.
Mhm.
That's proven.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't have those wrinkles, then
Wrinkles.
yeah. I really didn't see any tri suits that can get away with the wrinkles, yung parang
Mhm.
hindi custom made. It has to be tailor made for you to get rid of those wrinkles, and then that will not be an advantage, but will be a disadvantage now. So mahirap siya.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point.
Mm.
Thank you very much sa mga pag-research mo kasi this time for sure ang daming mga should I go for sleeveless? Should I go for sleeves? And this segment na ginawa natin sa it's very informative for us kasi nga syempre just like you nagdadalawang isip ka before but you were able to talk to team reads it's team read. It's like
Yes. He's a world champion. So
do I
yeah,
have to
reliable
question
in
do I have to question
yeah.
that? No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, yun yung ano. And according to him, you get an extra cheer on the run, which you really will. So it's an added it's an added boost. I'm pretty sure you guys have raced, and those cheers make a difference talaga when it comes to the last parts of the race, when you're dying.
Mhm.
So if you get those extra cheers from one on you, I caught myself smiling on the run in Davao, because like there's people that are even men are cheering for you. So it's nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate King yung time na binigay mo sa amin. I also appreciate yung pag-co-host sa akin ni Ish. Maraming salamat. Marami kami
Anytime.
natutunan. You are really a thinker, a person who likes to research, person who likes to analyze. You like numbers on training, which helps you become a very good athlete. It's not just competitive is a mindset, but being an
Yeah.
effective athlete, it will all depends on how you do it on your training. And a person who has a very data-driven mindset as well can really improve his performance kasi una-una, he will know what he's lacking of and he can
Yes.
focus on that and improve. Maraming salamat Ish sa time na binigay mo sa amin.
Welcome and thank you then.
You're welcome.
Um, hopefully this will not be the last Kristiane, kasi gusto ko na ma-invite sila Paul at Banjo na kayo magkita-kita sa isang podcast at pag-usapan
Magiging
natin yung
magulo.
mga
Promise.
kwentuhan na ginagawa nyo
Like,
before.
I have a very good story to tell when that happens.
Kasi ang daming mga inside story na hindi namin alam as a fan.
Yeah.
We see you in the race, we see you, but behind that, no. Okay. So, King and Lim, hello.
Hello.
So, this is the time na we're gonna give you the chance na pasalamatan yung mga tao na gusto mong pasalamatan, your team, your family, your sponsor. And yeah.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank my family, especially my understanding wife, for letting me do this crazy sport. It takes a team at home to be able to pull this off. So yun, especially my daughter, like an added. They say na parang magiging hindrance or distraction, but it has been like a motivator for me. And to the sponsors, kilala na sila. They know who they are. They've been supporting me ever since. I've been with Dance Bike Shop and their products since 2017. And they've been really very good with the trek bikes, with the Bontrager wheels and the On Running. These are basically products that I actually sought before, because before I was sponsored when I first won my yung sa Filipino Elite. I was riding a Trek Speed concept that I bought with my own money. And then 2017 I saw them with On as well, because I think that I also want to be linked with the products that I do believe in. So thank you, and especially sa sa vlog, yung mga supporters and subscribers sa vlog, it has been a really big help, kasi like nakatulong din sila, like in paghatak sa mga sports or sa sponsors, like having a following sa YouTube. It really helps, kasi more brands are willing to work with you. So malaking tulong yon, and it has been a blessing since pandemic nung nag-boom yung vlog. Maraming naging tulong din for my racing, especially in my late age. I'm not as good as a performer compared to back then, but more brands are like, I'm getting better support than like better from compared to like better athletes, just because I am able to represent their brands more. So maraming naniniwala. So thank you so much for the trust, and hopefully I'm able to fulfill the yung mga expectations from me.
For sure, for sure. And I know that the way you race, the way you perform, the way you train, the way you blog, the way you inspire people, you're doing good.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa'yo. And also, yeah, Ish, meron ka bang gustong sabihin before we end?
Wala na so far. Like, yeah, I've known King like for a long time now, but he's doing well with his vlogs, his family. Wish you all the best, and hopefully I'll see you soon, like sa mga international races. Like, bisita ka dito. So, para
Hopefully.
si Sir Lawrence lang yung mag-sponsor sa'yo sa mga plane tickets yan. Bahala.
Yeah.
At saka, hopefully to see you soon, like sa Kona. At saka mga World Championships.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things na gusto namin makita soon from you. And
Thank you.
so sa lahat po ng gustong nakakapanood nito at hindi pa fina-follow si King, or just wondering, meron bang hindi nakakakilala kay King? Sa mga hindi man nakakakilala kay Christian Lim, you can follow him in his Instagram, in his Facebook. He has also his own Facebook fan page, and also he has a YouTube channel. Please follow him. Very informative guy, very inspiring, and I know that it can also help you on your training, on your journey sa triathlon. So thank you very much sa inyong dalawa. And
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Next time ulit.
Peace.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Bye.